the house.
Winnie's son.
Ryan Foland.
Her last name is the reason why I wear sunscreen.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's why I wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
You know, we should get swag for you that's sunscreen. Winnie's you should get customized swag.
What? I think you're right. I think I like your thinking. In fact, I saw a sticker there.
Yeah, I would like to wear Winnie's sunscreen.
Okay. You know what?
You know the whole
Sounds
financial
like an
protection.
opportunity.
You talk about protection, financial.
Okay,
You can
for
kind of
sun
tie it in there.
protection, I'm liking this
Yeah.
idea. So I was really happy that like walking through the hallway here at Social Media World
Yes.
2019 in San Diego. Woohoo! It's SMMW19.
Yes, SMMW19.
And I was like walking. I was like, oh, Ryan!
A ginger. And then all of a sudden I hear Ryan, and I look up and I see this bright pink object coming towards me. I'm like, Winnie!
Well, just because in case you can't find me and you're here, now you can find me.
Yeah, which is a good branding point for anybody out there. Find something that you can own. I own my gingerness. You own your bright colors and cool necklaces. You got a cool necklace going?
Yeah, today not as cool today.
Usually
but
they're
yes,
really cool
usually
with like
cool.
make noise
I'm
and
gonna-
stuff.
Actually, that's a good point. I'm gonna change up into that before dinner. That we are having a special dinner tonight. But yeah, I mean, Ryan, obviously you know because you run the company Influence Tree. You know,
Yes.
what do you think about this conference?
So the conference is great, and I think that if you look at who's attending, you can figure out where the value is. A lot of these sessions are somewhat 101, and if you are super advanced and you show up to a session and it's kind of 101, you might feel a bit of a disconnect. So I would think of it on a sliding scale. If your knowledge and comfort level with social media is low, then attending these sessions and getting all this information is crucial. If you have the foundation and you are a bit more advanced, use this opportunity to connect with real people who are here in real life.
I love that point because that's exactly what I plan to do at this conference is to meet with people that I'm already connected with on social media.
Yep.
You know, get together with friends I haven't seen in a while and build upon that. Right?
Yeah.
Get to know
One,
each other
one thing
better.
specifically that I do for conferences and here what I exactly did, I went through the speaker page and I copied it all and I threw it into a Word doc and I went through and I said, do I know this person? Do I know of the person? Have we had a contact before? So there's 50 plus speakers and there was 32 speakers that I've either connect with or I would be a familiar face to them. And then what I've done is I've made sure that I'm following all of them. As part of my tweet routine, which I'm going to call a tweetine, I make sure that I share and engage with them, so now I'm more on the radar.
Right.
And then about later on today, I'm going to hit them all up in the DMs and say, hey, it's me, can we connect? And this even happened with Duncan, one of the big speakers that I was trying to get in touch with from Disney. He was here yesterday. I did that plan, moved it to the DMs, and then we missed signals. But now we're connecting, we're going to talk on the phone tomorrow, I'm going to ask him to be on my podcast. I'm like, here's this high value connection that is way more valuable than a workshop for me at this point.
Totally.
But that's
Agreed.
find people. I like what you said is you already have a connection with them, and then this is the two-step. One of the best pieces of advice that I got at a conference. Somebody else asked the question, but the guy said, think of life as a series of dots. How many dots does it take to make a line? 2, right? So sometimes we get excited, we meet somebody, we're at this event, we're like, this is one big dot. Like, oh my gosh, this is great, Winnie, yay, that's one dot. But you can't create a line unless you create another dot. And so if you come to a conference like this and you want to connect the dots, you have to create the first dot in the first place. And then this is a secondary dot. So I'm not trying to reach out to people who I am not connected with already. But this has been a high value. I think I've got like 10 or 15 of the 32 that I'm after. And when I say after, it's in the nicest way because I want to continue to build those dots.
Absolutely. I think you do a very good job of that.
I try.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be good, you just have to try.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one thing I should note too, because actually I was at this conference last year with Ryan, and he was one of the most active social media sharing participants from the entire conference.
Yes.
I mean, I think it was like a couple speakers and it was you.
Yeah. And there's a funny story behind that. When I initially came here in 2015, I was the person that had low to no social media skills. And I was like in every conference or in every single workshop taking feverish notes, feverish notes on my laptop, crazy. I had probably 10 pages of notes. I'm like, I'm going to change the world with all this stuff. I found those notes the following year as I was searching for something unrelated on my Google Drive.
Right.
And all of a sudden I was like, all of that has gone to waste. So the next year, I only brought my phone, and I said to myself, anything that I would have taken a note, I'm going to tweet. That was a foundation. And I had to leave early, and I was on the train, and my phone blows up from all these text messages. Everybody's like, congratulations. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I'm like, what? They're like, you got named the top mentioned speaker of the entire conference. I was like, but I didn't even speak, and I was like, this is cool. So I called it a tweetnado, and when I go to conferences and speak, and when I attend conferences, I own that hashtag. And the connectivity, the hey, is that you? It creates a whole bunch of dots in real time.
I love that. I love that, because if you're going to participate in an event, get invested, spend time, support the speakers, because most of the time at these conferences, I know, because you and I both speak at a lot of events, that oftentimes, we're taking time out of our busy schedules to be there, and so we're excited to share our information with the audience. So when you see someone participate and reshare and comment and quote you, it's really an impressive thing and very, very meaningful.
Yeah, and if we match these two things together, right, this connecting the dots with people you want to connect with while also sharing. I had Dennis Wu, we connected, we're like, let's make a video, kind of like this, but then we got 5 different people to live stream at the same time, all around the same topic, and we're all piggybacking off of each other, and it just creates this sort of groundswell of activity, and everybody feels excited about it afterwards.
It's kind of almost like a tweet chat, but on video.
That is exactly what it is.
And speaking of which, I gotta say thank you so much for being expert panelist on our anniversary chat yesterday.
That was a special, and
it meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I was on the train coming down here on all cylinders, firing away, and I'm just proud of the community that you've built. And 20 billion impressions?
So as before yesterday, we had exceeded 20 billion impressions.
That's gnarly. But it's fun. Like, I met Gene today, and we were like, oh my gosh, we've known each other for a couple years, but we're connected through you. And I think your analogy of a conference being a long tweet chat is exactly what it is. And if you haven't participated in a tweet chat, #Winnie Sun tweet chat.
We have the most amazing community. I mean, you're a perfect example of this. The most giving, kind, just amazing.
And I get to share my stick figures with them.
I know. I'm so glad. And I am actually hosting a special event today. First time we've ever done this. So I'm really excited. In real life, so many people are coming to the get together who I've never met in person.
Right.
Who I've tweeted with for years now. So it's going to be very special.
Yeah, there will definitely be some selfies going on.
Yeah, and I gotta say, if you've never been to one of my tweet chats or my events, I always try and do something I always try to put myself in your shoes. Like, if you were to come in my tweet chat, or if I went to your tweet chat, what would make me feel good about being there? So I treat every tweet that way. So my goal when doing a tweet chat is to answer every single tweet. So literally, I'm
it's crazy.
It's like a full on. It's just so much exercise.
It's like a sprint, but it's longer than a sprint because it keeps going. One thing you just said I want to point out, and this might be something we can work with, is every tweet was a treat. And you don't really have a tweet chat as much as you have a treat chat. But again, this is an example of looking at social media other than just buttons and things that work. You literally put yourself into our shoes and said, what would be a treat? I don't think everybody thinks like that. And if you take the technology out of it and try to put the human element into it, you're able to build real relationships. Like when I saw Gene, I'm like, oh God, give me a hug.
I know, Gene is such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I had a pleasure of meeting him in person, I think over a year ago, actually when I flew to Atlanta.
Okay.
And I met him there. Such a great human being. I mean, you too. Actually, funny story for those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell a little secret. So we almost didn't meet because we actually connected on social. He works in the same city that I work. We connected. We made an appointment to meet each other at my friend's coffee shop to collaborate and talk about, and he never showed up.
No show, no call.
No show, no call, nothing. I was like, this has actually never happened to me before. This is the first time in all my years that this has happened. So I didn't think we connected. But fortunately, it was meant to be. We were meant to be friends. And talk about the nicest human being.
But to continue that story, Leonard was doing a video with you, and he brought me along to the interview because I'm in the area. And then he brought me and we're like, oh, Winnie. I'm like, I think I know you. And you're like, oh yeah, I know you. You're the person who stood me up. First thing out of her mouth.
You never forget
And
this.
I was like, oh,
The first
jeez.
time.
So it was an uphill battle from there. So that was like a dot that was, like a real smeary dot that I had to clean up and put some other dots behind it. But just even that, like sharing that as an example is what I think you do really well, is you help people feel comfortable being themselves.
You too.
And that idea of being on social and it not being that far of a difference from who you actually are, I think that's this little magic secret sauce that people are looking for, right?
Yeah.
There's the functionality and then there's the comfortability around it.
I think so. I think when you come to these conferences, you realize, everybody's like, all these sessions you go to, they're talking about Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and they keep talking about different tools and applications and techniques.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the most important factor is you.
Yes.
You are the, people always say, oh, I don't even know how to do social media. Maybe I'll hire someone to do my social media. And I always say, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You either do it or you don't do it. Because what makes social media special is it's just another chapter of you, or another way of reflecting you. So if someone else is reflecting you, I mean, it's just
Yeah,
doesn't
you
work.
say story and chapter. I talk about how when it comes to branding, I'll ask people like, do you have a personal brand? And a lot of times they'll be like, no. Unfortunately, you're wrong, because you've always had a brand, and it's just that you're not participating in the narrative, and narrative is story, and your stories, all the stories, including when I stood you up, is part of my story. And it's when you have the ability to own that and actually share it, you take across, you get rid of the need for the Facebook life, and you're just living your real life.
Absolutely, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really great way to put it.
And speaking of real, I'm going to throw it out there that Winnie is the archetype of somebody who is not different offline than online, and that's why we were so excited to feature you in our book.
Aw, and I'm excited about this book. In fact, those of you who are on Twitter, let me tell you, Ditch the Act has its own handle, and if you ever just want to have someone to tweet to,
A
that
book
is-
to tweet to, because it's not a person, it's a book.
to tweet to that is so cute and so clever and so fun to tweet to, you should definitely follow Ditch the Act,
Yeah.
because let me just say,
You're its
Ryan-
auntie, you know that, right?
I'm an auntie. Ryan is a daddy, and in fact, Ditch the Act has two daddies.
Yes, yes.
But I am Auntie Winnie, which I was like, I've never been auntie of a book before. But this, anytime you can be an auntie for something like as cute as that, it's just really nice. So, but yes, you have a book out. Can we talk about the book?
Yeah, it's coming out. So in October, it's going to come out under McGraw-Hill, and it's called Ditch the Act, Reveal the Surprising Power of the Real You for Greater Success. And it's much of what we talked about. Everybody hears that you're supposed to be authentic, but the challenge is if you don't know how to actually communicate that online and offline, then it's challenging. And I think that there's a lot of people that are holding back things that didn't go right, things that they're afraid of sharing, their skeletons in the closet. And we all have this fear of sharing on a public platform,
Yes.
whether it's on social media or not.
Right.
And so in the book Ditch the Act, we have a process. There's 5 levels of exposure and then 7 steps that we lay out for a branding process. But
Right.
in order to share the things that really will connect you with your audience so they can know you, to then like you, to then trust you, is the stuff that didn't go well.
Absolutely.
It's not the good, it's the bad, and it's your version of the ugly. And it's what you learn from it. So level 1 exposures are things that you think that you don't want to say, stuff like forgetting your running shoes when you decided you want to go to the gym this morning, being exhausted, sharing thoughts of fear about speaking, whatever it may be, things that you wouldn't necessarily share. So I say, if you're not sure to share, that's exactly what you should share.
I love that.
If you're texting a friend, telling them something about how your day's going wrong, take that text and tweet it and watch what happens. So once you get comfortable with level 1, then you see that it's not, you're not gonna die, things aren't gonna blow up. Then you can move to level 2, and that's conflicts with other people. And then level 3 is things that are relationship based, like a divorce or something major. 4 is business failures that will help you become human even if you have a successful business now. And so helping people through that process is great. And we had people like you, we were able to ask, what does it mean to you, and examples in your life. And I think it's really going to move the needle for people who want that edge of real relationships.
Okay, now I'm going to jump in here real quick and embarrass this gentleman. Right? One thing that I love, that I actually talk about this at many of my sessions, I actually, when I speak at different companies, I borrow from this gentleman. And this is, I'm going to tell you, it has had it's such a great exercise for a lot of people that I speak with on this, and that is the first step of doing any sort of social media or marketing in general or brand work is to really understand who you are as a person. So actually, Ryan talks about this post-it exercise, and if you haven't seen this exercise, you gotta do a quick search for Ryan Foland, because he's literally one of the best speakers I've ever heard speak. But he has this incredible way to share with you how you can dig deep, get to know yourself, and then from that reflect and create content around that. So
Yeah.
that's a teaser, gives you a chance. Ryan, how does everybody follow you or learn more about you?
So I'm at a point where you can Google me now. I'm comfortable to say that. As far as a platform, I'm most active on Twitter. RyanFoland.com is a place where it centralizes all of my things. And Influence Tree is where you can find more about the company that is behind the brand.
I love it.
And did you see how I said the company behind the brand? See, when you really feel comfortable with what you're doing, the problem that you're solving, and where you are, you have that position and you're like stoked on it, the business is behind you. And so many people miss that. I'm not saying Influence Tree and I'm part of it. I'm saying I'm Ryan and Influence Tree is there. So it's just another example of people want to do business with people. And so connect with me as a person, get to know me and my flaws, and see if you like me, and then you get to know me, and then,
Really nice guy.
then you trust me, and then maybe we'll do business. But
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. It's awesome getting
Yes.
to know you, and we're going to have dinner together.
yes, I'm
No.
so excited.
Let's go and have some more fun at this conference.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Adios.
Bye.